All right, aloha friends. Game time with the Goss. I'm Brian Gossett with GM Sports Media, and we're powered by Gray Wolf Promotions. My guest today is LD Bell football coach TJ Dibble. His Blue Raiders are 5-0, first time since 2022, and he's got a game coming up here in Week 6 against Justin Northwest in District 4-6A. TJ, welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me on, and as always, we appreciate everything you do for not just football in the state of Texas, but all sports.
Thank you for that. Yeah, let's talk about week 5 against Eaton. You guys 39-37 winners in double overtime. We can only do so much, looking at the box score if we weren't at the game. Try to help us paint a picture there. I see you guys were able to stop their 2-point conversion in the second overtime, and then in your second overtime, Braylon Harris hit Gavin Roberson for the game-winning 2-pointer. So try to help us take me through that game.
Well, I mean, it was an amazing football game. I felt like at times we really played well. Eaton, and Coach Miller do an outstanding job, and we really felt like to this point of the season they were one of the strongest teams that we've played. Definitely talented on both sides of the ball, and we knew, the first three games in district, have really come down to the wire for us. They've been fourth quarter, one possession games, and ultimately in our district in District 4-6A, if you're within a possession in the fourth quarter, you probably feel pretty good, but everybody is pretty talented and well coached. So, it was kind of a back and forth game early on. They started off the game, and took the opening kickoff, for a touchdown. Just proud of the way our kids battled and fought. Defensively, we kind of had them bottled up in the first half. We knew that they were an explosive offense, so they made some plays in the second half. But our offense, we had, I think almost 500 yards of total offense. And I think kind of the statistics within the statistics, we protected the football defensively. We were able to create some turnovers that ultimately gave us some timely stops. And then, at the end of the game, they did a great job coming back and they tied it up. We went to overtime. We were tied after one overtime, and at that point, we were just able to make a stop on a 2-point play. Asher St. Tillis batted a ball down on a play that they were running, and then if you have not watched our 2-point conversion play, or there's a bunch of clips of it out there, I mean it is a spectacular play. I mean, if it was on Sports Center, on from a college game on Saturday, just the will and just finding a way by all the kids, especially Braylon Harris, and then to make the catch, Gavin in the end zone. I mean, it's a contested catch. There's bodies all over. It's a pretty special play. So I'm just really proud of our kids and their grit. It's something we talk about in our program, and I think it comes down to the leadership of our senior class and the core group of kids we have. They really believe that they can win, and they continue to play, in this case, all the way through two overtime. So it's pretty special.
Yeah, you mentioned starting off district play. You guys are 3-0 and 4-6A. Can we elaborate on that? Last year we talked off air. The last couple of years you started off 5-0, 4-0, kind of took a step back, 2-8 last season. Similar schedules with last year. Can you talk about being in these close games and finishing these close games, coming out as a winner, whereas maybe typically in the past, maybe some of these close fourth quarter games, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, every year is different. Every team is a little bit different. We really felt like there were games last year where we were within a possession in the fourth quarter. I think in three of our four district losses, and just couldn't find a way to get it done. And I think our kids learned a lot from playing in District 4-6A last year. Every week. I give credit to every coaching staff and every team you play because they're well coached. They're talented, and they play extremely hard. And so I think we learned a lot. And there was a core group of kids on our football team last year that are returning this year that ultimately they know what it looks like. They were battle tested, and mix in some of the younger guys and some of the young talent that we have. And I think that's kind of been the difference for us. But I'll just point to the work that our coaching staff did in the offseason to really evaluate some of our systems, and then continuing to develop our leadership and give credit to the kids because ultimately their leadership and their execution in these critical moments have made the difference for us.
Now, maybe sometimes they don't get as much love, but we got to give some love to your kicker, Grady Matcham, if that's how I
Yeah.
pronounce your name. But incredible year already. Already hit a 60-yarder against Odessa, school record, with a winner against Keller at the end of the game, and then here against Eaton, hitting a 51-yarder. Just feels like Brandon Aubrey from the Cowboys. He can hit from any distance, but to have a kicker like that, because a lot of times we see teams don't even go for 2 points or a field goal close range because they don't have a strong kicker. But to have someone like Grady, just talk about that.
Well, we're spoiled, and Grady, I'm proud because he's gotten national recognition. Obviously hitting the 60-yarder. Somebody told me that there was only 17 60-yard field goals made in the NFL. Just some crazy, right? Some crazy statistics. But for last week, he rolls out there and he hits a 51-yard field goal, and I'm not worried about, hey, should we do this? Should we not? I mean, we even ran him out there. It was a 65, which I mean, that's Grady will tell you he can hit it. But at the end of the game, there was a couple of ticks left on the clock. We were thinking about giving that a shot. I mean, that's how talented he is. And I think his ceiling is still high, just because of his length and his athleticism. And so when you have that as a weapon for us, I think that's another area that we can point to in these first three wins. And Grady and our kicking game has played an impact role in all three of those wins. If you go back to Timber Creek, we finished the half with two long field goals from Grady, and I think one was a 54 and one was a somewhere another 50s. But if you look at each of those three wins in the first kind of three district games, he's played a major part in that, and our special teams have as well.
Is he a soccer kid?
Originally he was, and he ended up coming to us full time in football. And the cool thing about Grady is, when he was young, if he couldn't hit a PAT consistently. I mean, he is a great example of somebody that has dedicated themselves to their craft. He went through off season with us and was one of the most improved kids in our entire off season, from a strength conditioning standpoint. And then if there's a kicking camp or somebody training kickers within, a 20-mile radius, Grady is there getting the work in, and so I think his story is really about his commitment to working at being a great kicker. And it's not by chance that he's hitting a 60-yarder. It's because yes, he is talented, but he's put the work in, and ultimately he's earned the right and earned the success that he's had this year.
Now, warm-ups or practice, is he going from 70?
What's crazy is when he hit the 60 um, in Odessa, there was no wind. And three of the three state record kicks of 62 were all in West Texas. They were all kicked in West Texas. And I can imagine, I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there obviously, but there's probably a wind factor, right? You get a little wind at your back and you run a kid out there and you kick it. Grady's, there was no wind. I mean, zero wind at all. And so, ultimately, can he hit a 65, with a little tailwind or something? I mean, I think you can throw some crazy numbers out there. We'd have to ask Grady because I know he's probably chased it of what he can hit. But to hit a 60-yarder, and it had a couple of yards. I mean, if you look at it, it hit the apron on the track. So it was not just over the upright. It was probably 2 yards over the upright. And that was with no wind, So hypothetically, what could he hit? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a chance to find out.
Awesome. So another good one here Friday as you guys host Justin Northwest at Pennington Field Friday night. Just kind of talk about that matchup and what's it going to take to get another win.
Well, Coach Poe and Northwest, they're a good football team. They've lost 3 games by a combined 8 points. I mean, I saw them play against Keller in person, and they lost a heartbreaker in overtime, and they're just as good as anybody else in our district. I mean, honestly, I think they could easily be a 4-0 football team right now. And that's a credit to their coaching staff and the way that they coach their kids and the way they play. I think, when you look at the top rushing leaders in the area, their tailback has almost 1,000 yards in 4 games, and he is a spectacular player. We're pretty proud of our tailback and our run game. I think those two, this week, those are the two top rushers, okay, in the area. I think statistically, I'm sure you can double check that for me, but you know, um, they're a good football team. Our kids are focused kind of on our process and continuing to improve because I don't think we've played our best football game yet. And our kids feel that way. And so I think that's keeping us hungry and keeping us focused. And that's kind of been our approach this week. We're focused on Northwest. We respect them and the type of football program that they are and the way they play the game. And our kids are really just focused on us continuing to improve, and we're excited about the opportunity to play at home on Friday night.
Awesome. Well, TJ, congratulations here on the success so far. Again, 5-0, 3-0 in district play. And we wish you all the best of luck here against Northwest and the remainder of the season.
I appreciate it, man. As always, thanks for having me on, and we're grateful for what you do.
All right, that's LD Bell football coach TJ Dibble. Again, catch his Blue Raiders hosting Justin Northwest Friday at Pennington Field. And until then, that's another episode of Game Time with the Goss, powered by Grey Roof Promotions. I'm Brian Gossett with GM Sports Media. And until next time, aloha.